Hey everybody, welcome back to our Delivery Connect onboarding series. In this lesson, we'll go over the Service Plans module, the most important and extensive of our features within Delivery Connect. Create, edit, manage all your service plans, add service windows, modify your stops. The service plans do it all. Let's get right on it. The Service Plans view displays the full list of all your existing plans. Now, of course, if this is your first time using Delivery Connect, this list will be empty. But as you create or import plans, you'll find a bird's eye view of all your routes from this section. The 4 different icons found here are displayed in many other places within Delivery Connect. The first icon, a single person graphic, indicates a customer stop. The 2 people icon symbolizes a multi-customer stop. The door with a lock is a locker stop. And finally, the map symbolizes delivery zones. So, with this knowledge in hand, we can use the numbers below each column to identify how many stops we have on each service plan. In our example, our SP Draper route has 34 customer stops, 4 multi-stops, 2 locker stops, and a single delivery zone. Now, by default, the map view on the service plan screen will display a collection of all the zones currently assigned to your service plans. To get a better look at any particular plan, simply click on it. Delivery Connect will zoom in on this service plan's zone and display all the stops within as pins on the map. Just like in live view, you can click on any of the pins to see more information about each stop. You can also filter this view, selecting whichever graphic you'd like to remove from the currently displayed information. And if you'd like to view your service plan in the traditional stop list instead, just click the List View button. From here, you can review all your stops in the familiar format you might be more comfortable with if you're coming from spot routes. Let's talk colors. By default, your stops will show with the matching color of your delivery zone. Any pins in black mean that these customer stops are outside your delivery zone. This is useful data for when we look at how to create and edit zones in the following video. In the list view, stops appear with a black color, with addresses in red indicating that geocoding failed. We can attempt to fix any addresses that didn't validate properly by clicking on it, then attempting to retype the address for a valid geocoded equivalent. If no proper geocoded address suggestion matches the location, you can also use the drop pin feature to indicate where the physical location is so that once the manifest is created, we can provide the driver with the closest location for optimization purposes. The drop pin feature is also quite useful in case the pickup and delivery for a stop happens somewhere else other than the front door, like in the back or on the side alley of the location. The pencil button to the right of each stop allows you to access the Edit Stop function. And here, you can modify the desired stop in whatever way you need to, like changing their pickup and delivery type, modifying their visit days, reviewing any stop images, adding instructions, or entering a pickup request. More on that later. The trash can icon will, of course, remove the stop from the service plan altogether. And clicking on the customer's name will bring you to their account record. If you're using Delivery Connect through our Connect platform, it ties seamlessly into the counter portion of your system. From here, it's just a matter of a couple of clicks to add a credit card on file, or even activate a subscription. Our system has never been so powerful and easy to use. There's a couple of ways to sort your stops within a service plan. By default, all stops will appear in manual order, so, in other words, in whichever order they were added to the plan, or how they were when imported from Spot. Changing this sorting to customer name will instead reorder all stops in alphabetical order. Changing it to optimize will instead sort the stops in the order in which the optimization component would decide. This last option is great if you don't want to optimize the manifest every time you run it. Now, it's important to remember that you cannot go back to manual sorting after you've selected either customer name or optimize. Be 100% certain that this is the sorting you want before committing to any changes. We've added an undo button for you so you can preview what any of the other sorting options will look like and still go back to manual sorting if you prefer not to commit to the change. The last tool at your disposal to manage your stops and plans is the Move button. With this toggle on, you can move a stop to any spot inside your service plan. Moreover, you can also transfer the stop to a different service plan by clicking and dragging it to the desired destination. One quick caveat here, the destination plan must have a zone that services this customer. Otherwise, the move will fail. Lastly, you can also use the same button on the service plan section to reorder your available service plans. But how do we add service plans? Well, we start by clicking the New Service Plan button at the bottom of the list. From here, we have several settings displayed. Some of them are required, while some others are optional. The best practice is to name your service plan by adding the letters S, P in the beginning. Now, the reasoning for this naming convention is because even though service plans are exclusively managed from within Delivery Connect, they will still appear inside your Spot program configuration under the Routes section. It's good to know then which routes are Delivery Connect service plans and which ones are Spot routes from a single glance. Also, your Spot product support technicians will thank you for keeping this best practice, as it'll make troubleshooting infinitely easier. The description is optional and not necessary. The driver name must be set, and the drop-down selection ties directly into your users' groups and rights within Spot. Note that the other drivers can also service this plan at the time of route plan generation. This setting is meant to define who is the main driver for the service plan. The price table selection defines which pricing list to use with this route. Same for the tax and alteration tax entities. If you like to have your service plan default to the store settings for all of these, you can leave them blank. The average stop time in minutes is how long on average should a driver spend at each stop. The average stop time per customer in minutes is how long on average should a driver spend visiting each individual customer inside a multi-customer stop. The minutes you define here are used to calculate late percentages in live view when a route is running. Default scan at delivery indicates whether or not a driver is required to scan each invoice that he's delivering at the stop location. The options from the drop-down are no scan, which means no scan at all is required. Optional single in all orders, which means the scanning is optional and not enforced. And finally, required for single or all orders in the visit. We of course recommend you set this to required all orders, no matter what. This is the only way you'll enjoy the most accurate data feed from Delivery Connect Mobile and ensure you're using the product as it was designed. Remember that the driver can always override the scan in case of hardware malfunction at the location, but they'll at least have to provide a reason why. The default pickup type and default delivery types are there to specify if customers that are added to the service plan will automatically be scheduled or on demand. The exclude from route selection toggle will turn this service plan invisible, if you will, meaning that even if a customer falls in the delivery zone of this plan, when they go sign up for service via Customer Connect or the mobile app, they will not be added to the service plan automatically. This toggle is useful for testing service plans, or perhaps for a VIP route where you only want to add stops manually and not automatically. Require image at delivery will force the driver to take a photo of where they left the bag at each location. This toggle will enforce it for all stops in the route. There is a toggle inside each individual customer stop as well, in case you only want to turn this feature on for select customers. Finally, allow on-demand requests for static customers, like the name implies, grants those customers set as scheduled or static the ability to place on-demand pickup requests for this service plan. We're not done, however. There's one more crucial component we have to add to our service plan: the service window. While a relatively new concept, the core of a service window is still the very same as the default days in spot routes. A service window helps define not only which days of the week the service plan is running on, but also which type of service it provides. As an example, we can define a service window that begins at 7 a.m. and ends at 4 p.m. The service window will provide service on Mondays and Thursdays, and will be available for customer, multi-stop, and locker bank stops, for both static and on-demand. The cutoff time helps establish what's the latest a customer can enter a pickup request for same-day service. As long as it's before this cutoff time, any request sent via Customer Connect or the mobile app will enter the driver's active route manifest. If instead, however, we decided to only select regular customer stops and only on-demand customers, when we attempt to run our route plan, no static stops, multi-stops, nor logger stops will appear on our route plan for the day. Even further, multiple service windows can be assigned to each individual service plan. This means that you could effectively have a route that runs on, say, Mondays and Thursdays for on-demand customer stops, and on Tuesdays and Fridays for static customer stops. Gone are the days where you needed to have multiple routes for different days, if you so desired. Of course, if you don't want to deal with this high level of configuration, you could just settle for one service window with 2 days out of the week, offering the full range of services you desire. The options are here for you. How you use them is entirely up to you. And that's that. Hitting save will complete the service plan setup. From here, we're just missing one last setting. Let's select our new service plan from the list, and on the right-hand side, we'll click on Available Zones. We have to assign our new service plan a delivery zone to complete the configuration. In this case, we already have one available for use. In your case, you'll have to create a brand new zone. Fortunately, our next video will cover exactly how to do that. I'll see everyone there, and as always, thank you for watching.